Welcome to another live episode of Chat and Chew. I'm your girl, Miss Ebony. In the middle, we have Special K, and over to the other end, your right and your left, Letitia. Welcome. We are so excited. We do not get to do our lives often, so when we do, we get really, really hyped, right? So, if you have not subscribed to the Chat and Chew channel on YouTube, please subscribe. We have a lot of you all that are viewing it, but are forgetting to subscribe, forgetting to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And definitely at the end of this episode, share. We appreciate you all for tuning in tonight. Okay, so we got a special episode. It's a two-part tonight. Okay, we're gonna do both parts tonight.
2 parts.
Okay. And it's a trip to the RV area and DMV area. Okay, so let's jump into our first video for tonight. Welcome back. We hope that you all have enjoyed that. Segment 1 or part 1 of this is the Croaker spot, as you can see. So go ahead, Keisha, Miss Special K. I'll let you lead us in.
So I was having a little moment when Ebony was like, we're gonna tell you about the RV, and I was like, the RV.
RVA?
Because all I kept thinking was the DMV. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the RV, huh?
I'm so glad you said that. For those who are not familiar with the RVA area, Richmond, Virginia. Go ahead.
Right. So Richmond wasn't originally you guys' choice, was it?
Right.
It was in the DMV, right? Okay. So I guess the plans fell through with the DMV area. So what made you choose Croaker Spot in Richmond?
The Croaker Spot is actually like my husband's go-to place when we can usually guarantee a good meal in Richmond. It's the Croaker Spot, so that's what made us pick it.
Okay. Now I've never been. So is it like mainly soul food, or could I have like some options like chicken or pork chop? Or
I'm gonna say their specialty is seafood.
Okay.
But I'm going to say it's more of like a Creole, Louisiana type. So it's not going to be, so if you're looking for your standard soul food restaurant, this isn't it.
Okay. So it might not necessarily taste like grandma's soul food. Okay, good. Okay, right. I'm glad you told me that. Now I can have a whole nother judgment like, this macaroni and cheese ain't it. These yams ain't it. Now I know it's the Creole macaroni and cheese.
Right.
Yeah, okay. So I kind of jumped into it with the food. So let's back up a little bit. Leading up to so this is Richmond. We know average place in Richmond, you're gonna have to walk a little bit maybe. The roads are maybe not the best. So how was the experience getting up to Croaker Spot?
So the Croaker Spot is like smack dab in like the busiest part of Richmond, and I want to say it's probably like off of Whole Street. And if you're familiar with that area, like it's busy. Trying to cross the street, you're going to risk your life. Be careful.
So park on the side of the street of the restaurant.
If you can. Now you have to park at your own risk. Because there is a side parking lot near the actual restaurant. However, the parking lot is for the courthouse. So there are right. So there are signs that says like no parking, parking only for court people, who are going to court between this time to this time. Okay. So I'm thinking like, okay, well, it's after this time. The court is closed. So basically park at your own risk.
Right.
Right. Can I add something really quickly? And if you do park on the side of the street, don't open that door too wide.
I was gonna say that's at your risk too.
You gotta like squeeze out your car.
Get out on the passenger side.
Right.
So the park, the wall,
they gonna keep going. I'm gonna tell you, it's like a little mini
right. It's like a DC thing. They're gonna keep going, and nobody's gonna try to stop them.
No.
You're gonna be looking crazy for like, did y'all see that?
Right.
They're gonna keep right on by their business.
All right.
Yeah.
Right.
So once inside, what does the restaurant look like?
Okay, so I want to also say this is that if I can say that the Croaker spot is located in an urban area.
Okay.
So it's not quite hood, but it's not quite uptown,
Right.
So it is in an urban area. So you may run into interesting people.
Okay. I like that word, interesting people.
As you journey, but I mean, if you're from Richmond, if you frequent Richmond a lot, like it's the usual, so it's whatever.
Yeah.
The Croaker spot actually is, I want to say, probably like maybe once upon a time it was two separate like spaces.
Oh wow. Okay.
And they tore down a wall and made it one. Seating, listen. It's a narrow, like they squeezed as much as they could into that particular space. When me and Daniel went, we actually, so when you go in there, you have the hostess stand, and then you have like a row of booths. You have the bar area. They do have a bar, and then it's like the kitchen. Now the other side is where they have the dining, the remaining chairs, tables. So you have a couple of tables. However, they have like this little platform, and up on the platform is like two tables. However, you have a low hanging roof, right? So it's like this. So it was packed when we
don't wear your big hair that day.
Don't you wear your big hair. We actually sat on the platform with the roof.
Okay.
That wasn't, no.
So that wasn't planned. That was, that's available.
We had nowhere else to sit, and also the wait time.
Yeah.
We waited for it was like an hour. It was an hour. So by the time we got our seat, it was like, well, listen, we waited an hour, whatever. I just want to eat. So be aware of the wait times. I don't think I've ever been there where there wasn't 30, 45 minute hour wait.
Yeah, I think the Croaker spot has always been jumping like that.
But let me ask you something. It's very, very popular, but do they do reservations? Because I've been before as well, but I've never ever called ahead. Do they do reservations? Do they suggest that?
When we called and it was on a Saturday, they did not take reservations, but they do tell you, hey, the wait is 45 minutes or whatever on the phone.
Yeah. So before we go further, I want to say this. My experience with going was on a takeout. In fact, someone said in the chat, yes, because of the line. Because of the line, said, oh no, I'm good. So that was me. I have eaten inside one time, but that is when they had their very first location. And it was so many years ago. I was in college. Let's tell you how many years, okay? Freshman, sophomore year, okay? So anyway, so my experience was to go. So, but even then you are waiting. Do not think because you are ordering your food to go that you're not going to have to wait. We ordered our food to go, and we still had to wait. I say at least 30 minutes, you know what I mean? But yeah.
Yeah, because most restaurants don't have the luxury of having cooks for
Present.
in-house and then cooks for to-go
Takeout.
orders. So
Yeah.
even though you're getting it to go, you know what I mean? You still got to understand that there were people that were in there before you that have already placed their order. You know what I
Right.
mean? So how is their size and decor and everything compared to? Is the Petersburg one still open?
No.
I believe
No.
I believe the Petersburg one, the Norfolk one isn't open, but
Okay.
Right.
Petersburg.
I know the Norfolk is it, but
Yeah,
I thought the
Norfolk
okay,
closed
okay,
during COVID.
okay. So how is Richmond in comparison to Petersburg? Like which one do you think is better as far as like the decor and all of
I've never been to the Petersburg one.
okay,
I
okay,
heard
okay.
that one was, I want to say, and I might be wrong, but I want to say the Petersburg one might have been the first one, and then
I
Richmond
think
came
it
Oh
was.
wow, really?
Yeah, I think it was.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I heard that the Petersburg one was larger because, like I said,
I
like
did
the
hear
Richmond
that.
one
Mm-hmm.
is like we in there.
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
the decor, honestly, for me is like it's pretty basic, and I just want to be
Okay.
honest.
Okay.
People
So
do
both of
not,
them are kind of like on the same page as far as okay.
yeah, people do not go to the Croker spot for the decor.
Mm-hmm,
It's
mm-hmm,
the food.
mm-hmm.
We go for the food.
Right,
So
right.
yeah, it's pretty basic as far as decor. It's nothing to write home about.
Mhm. So, like, we
But
know there's a wait time, which
Mhm.
usually is if you've been to Richmond area for a
yeah,
restaurant. Like, there's just usually a wait time because they aren't the largest restaurants. You know what I mean? They're
right.
usually like a storefront something with the best
Mhm.
of them anyway. It's like usually a storefront something.
Yeah,
It's not usually like a standalone,
Right.
right.
establishment or whatever. So, is the food worth the wait time though? Because we don't mind waiting if the
Right.
food is good. So was the food worth the wait?
So usually I
Uh-oh.
am never disappointed by the Crocker
Okay.
spot. Like Andrea said, so the average price, you're probably there may be a sandwich just like $19, but everything else is 20 and above.
Yeah, yeah.
However, the portion sizes, like I always go home with a takeout box because I never
Okay.
can. They give you like this their cornbread is literally cake. It's
Yeah.
a
Oh wow. Okay.
hunk,
Mhm.
huge hunk of cornbread. If you, I always get like the catfish. So with
Mhm.
the catfish, it says on the menu like it'll come with 2 pieces of catfish, but you'll actually get 3.
Oh
Mm.
The
wow.
por-
Okay.
yeah, portion sizes are so large
Yeah,
you can really split it
you
with
can.
someone else, and you're full. Everyone's full. So like I said, usually I am loving the Croker spot. This time, however, the candy, I think it was probably a different cook. And restaurants have to work
Yeah. Yeah.
quality control when you're switching up cooks because
Yeah.
the cams usually are on point. This time they were not. They were like hard. It was like they didn't even cut up the candy yams really. They just took
Mm.
chunks, put a little bit of the sugar, whatever, and just boom, dropped it in a bowl.
Maybe
And
that's
it
that
was
new Creole.
right,
It's not grandmama's.
right. And so it was so funny because Daniel, my husband, he was like, dang, like, the yams are like off tonight. So
Oh wow.
I can't remember our server's name, but he was like amazing.
Oh
So,
good.
so
Okay.
good. So he came over to our table, kept checking, like, hey, y'all all right? So Daniel was like, look, the yams. And it was so funny because as he was talking about the yams, you know that song, let me get to the yams. That song was playing. And I was like, "Dang." The mac and cheese, usually the mac and cheese was off.
Mm.
But our
So,
server,
so
like,
when you usually go though, so you went on a weekend, so
mhm,
you know how things can be on the weekend. That's why, like, if I can, I try not to eat out on the
yeah,
weekend because you get an experience like that. So when usually you go though, and everything is good, is it a weekend still or is it a
yeah,
weekday? Oh, really? It's a weekend.
yeah,
Okay, okay.
mhm, yeah.
So yeah, they were having an off thing, maybe. Yeah.
It,
I usually go on the a weekend too, because we're not in the local area. You know what I mean?
Right,
so
right.
it's a weekend.
Mm-hmm.
My experience is short and sweet. Like Tisha said, because I haven't had a bad experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like he was said in the chat, definitely worth the wait. We waited in that car for 30 minutes, and I'll never forget the second time I had tried it. The first time I had tried it, I had a lot of food, right? But then I kept hearing all these good things about it, you know. So we went back again. But this time, this is years later. I take my family, so it's myself, my children, my husband. You all, we did not drive back home. Okay, we got a hotel. Okay, we went and we called in our food. We waited 30 minutes in that car, and we took them big heavy tail plates. Yeah. It was so heavy that your gravy and stuff is like overpouring. You can't even close the box because the turkey is so big, you know, different things like that. And the menu may have changed since back then, but it was so much food. I was so happy that we had got a hotel. Yeah. Because like Tisha said, it's so much food. So I ate food that night. I got full. I woke up the next day. And it was really, really worth the wait, and it was worth the money. Proportions, you could tell that everything was homemade. I never forget, I got the smothered chicken with the gravy, and that gravy was homemade with the rice and peppers.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, and it was really, really good. The macaroni and cheese at that time was really, really good. So Tisha, take us back to your experience. Mine was on the weekend too. How often do you and Daniel go? Because you said this is y'all spot.
Yeah. Like I want to say we're probably hitting up the Croker spot, if not every month, then like every other.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm back and forth to Richmond. So if it's Mama J's, if you from Richmond, then you already know. But that's more of a traditional. But like the Croker spot is always like top. We going to the Croker spot, Mama J's maybe. But our waiter, our server, he was like, oh, I'm up, I feel bad, you guys didn't. And he went and he was like, you know what, we got desserts on me.
Okay. That was nice.
Yeah,
that was nice. Because dessert not cheap.
Dessert not cheap. And then let's just keep it all the way 100. When you go to these different restaurants and they're like they're not big chain restaurants, they don't usually do that. They don't usually give you free food. They don't usually, even the customer service good, they don't usually do that. No. So that's really, really good. Okay.
And so he gave us a huge slice of carrot cake. Divided that. Daniel had a whole. So I know that this was a one-time thing because I've been going there forever. So this is a one-time thing, and where they lacked in the food, they more than made up for it in the service.
Okay.
Can I give my?
So this doesn't sound like a place where we necessarily having a girls meet up or something like that, or like a gathering, because it doesn't at all sound like it's large enough to hold.
You don't have that space for that. Maybe one girlfriend, two tops. You don't have the space for 4 people. You don't have the space for that.
Yeah.
And it really, honestly, to me, sounds like more of a takeout. If you have somewhere that you can like actually take it to go and, and enjoy it, you know what I mean? You might. Yeah. I want to ask you about the bathroom. So did that bathroom look better in person than it did in that little video? I was like,
No, and that was because you guys know how I am. So I don't like using random bathrooms.
Yeah.
Even though I've gone to the Croker spot for years, that was my first time ever going into that bathroom.
Oh, wow.
I have never used the bathroom.
That was my first time. And there's a reason why I don't go to random bathrooms.
Right.
And now it was Valentine's Day ish. No, it was the weekend because Valentine's Day was during the week.
Okay.
So the bathroom, it needed TLC. It needed TLC. I've seen worse.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll hold it.
So you're ready to get your score.
Yeah, so what's your score? Look,
I'm I'm not going to give up on the Kroger spot. And listen, I will surely be back. So
Okay.
I'm going to give
it. Based on this one, you can't get them no extra brownie points because when you went last month, the yams was perfectly cut. We talking about them scoop. What is that? Yams.
I'm going to give them. I'm going to give it a C.
Okay.
She hated to do that, y'all. She hated it. I felt it. She hated it.
I did not like where we sat, like I said, that little thing.
Yeah.
Had a crank in his neck because he had to eat like this.
His food didn't taste right. The palate was tilted. That's why it didn't, your head was tilted.
So I'm just gonna give it a C for the seating, and then like we got to be more consistent with the food. Like, come on, y'all.
Before we wrap this up, I do have one question because I didn't sit inside. So the wait is a while. That's it. So everyone that's listening, watching, the wait, expect that. What about the food? Meaning the wait time on the food.
Oh,
is
yeah.
You're that is pretty quick. Like,
okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, they take your order. You maybe like 5-10, but the food, you're getting your food quick.
5-10. They need to slow down and put a little more into that. That's why your food didn't taste right. We're bringing out somebody catfish in 5 minutes.
Before we go to part 2, let's read some of the chat.
You should have told me that part because I'm gonna get chicken. I need my chicken done. No, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone, for participating in the chat. We have one that said the one in the one in Petersburg is always packed. When I do these, I can't see all of them. Yeah,
when I used to do weddings at the art gallery that sits on the corner. Now it's the Appomattox Event Center. And somebody else said it's definitely hit or miss. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and the food needed some love. So someone else is agreeing. It can be a hit and miss. And that is like the thing that it kind of like you kind of don't want to when you go and the food is good, you're scared to tell others because I don't know about you ladies, but every time I go somewhere eating, it's the bomb, and I text one of y'all or text my yo, you gotta go here. By the time we go, it's not the same.
Keisha.
And I feel so bad.
We're not gonna get into it tonight. We're not gonna do it tonight.
But a lot of the times, the places that I'm sending them, the food is not the cheapest either. Okay,
right.
So they don't spend their money, spend their time. They don't went because of me. You know what I mean? So that's why on this show we let you all know that like the Kroger spot, it's good, but it can be a hit and miss. Okay, but
let me put this out there, Tisha. If you notice, it's the places that she sent us, and she ain't going with us. I just caught that. She ain't going with us.
But it's so good.
It's so good. It's so good. It's so good.
No, that I cannot take responsibility for because I'm only going on what the people said. So then I send y'all. I said, look, y'all, they said this place, Well, listen, before we go to the next video, I have to say this really quickly, and then we're going to go straight into it. We did a review, right? When they went out to a restaurant and did a review. You all, it was they were so speechless on how to like put this thing together. We decided, and the place just opened. Okay, I will say this: they had just opened. I'm gonna say one more hint. They're in Newport News, so we felt bad and convicted because we are women of the cloth. You know, we are Christian.
I was a convicted. This is what we do. We get reviews. I had paid my money.
I know, but you know what?
I feel like Ebony need to give us our money back there. We can do our review.
Yeah, all right, so let's jump into that next video. And this next video is Miss Tisha and her husband had a day out in DC.
Check this out. DC.
Welcome back. Welcome back. We hope you all have enjoyed that short video. That probably was one of the longest videos we have.
Right.
Can you only imagine? Can you only imagine what their day was like?
Right.
Probably was hurting. But you know what? I didn't go. So Tisha, take us on your trip. Walk us down. Like, how did you all decide? So you all went to the African American Museum, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How did you all decide out of all the things to do in DC, that place? And then tell us about it. Like parking, pay, you know, all that stuff.
So Daniel and I, like, we love museums. So like that is our thing.
Okay.
Wanted to go to the African American Museum so bad in Washington, DC.
Yeah.
Tried to go, like we've been trying to go for like a year, and the tickets are free. All of the museums in Washington, DC, the tickets are free. But because of COVID, you have to they have timed passes. So you do have to select time passes, but the tickets are free. And if you're like really looking for like a day trip, or all you got to add the car up, get on the interstate, and you can spend all day literally in Washington, DC going to monuments. So basically that's why we went. He wanted to see the museum. You have to get there really, really early because they do have parking around the museums. But listen, I mean, like 3:00 early. They open at 8. You need to be there.
Shipyard.
You need to be there at 2:00, and you need to sit. But we ended up finding a park. You got to just sit. But we ended up finding a parking garage that was like, it was like a 10-minute walk. Wear your sneakers. And we paid $15, but it was for all day.
Okay.
It was all day. And I mean, like, it's enough scenery around there. Like they do have bikes, like little bikes that you can rent, little scooters. So if you're not up for like walking, they do have other, devices for you to use. But honestly, it was a beautiful day. And so we were just taking in the scenery. And so it was like, okay, cool, let's go. The museum itself, it took us 2 to 3 hours. The entire museum.
Oh wow! But you did see the whole museum. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. Downstairs they do have a restaurant. They have it's like a soul food restaurant. They have a gift shop, and they had another exhibit downstairs, and I think that exhibit had to have been the one because the line was wrapped.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and at that time, because we started so you have the regular level, and then it's like the first floor. So we went directly to the first floor. So by the time we made it all the way downstairs, it was like 3 hours in.
Oh,
I don't feel like that line. So we didn't see that exhibit. But the rest of it, honestly, because like I said, we do museums, and we've already been to a couple of other African American museums. For me, it was okay. It was okay.
So it wasn't the hype that we've been hearing, because like people act like you ain't black if you don't go and see and visit this museum. Like all black people need to go and visit this museum. So it's not that kind of.
One of the major flaws is the fact that because people have hyped it up so much, everybody go. So the crowds, it doesn't allow you to really like look at the exhibits, read, interact, because there's so many people.
Oh wow.
It's a lot of people. Even with the time passes. What you timing me? Everybody here. So that was one of the things. What I did like was their music. So they had this huge music section, and you guys seen like actual outfits that artists wore. That Michael Jackson, I love Michael Jackson. Like that was Michael's like that was his jacket. They even had what is the song?
I saw a church outfit I might go get.
That was Diana Ross's when when Lady Sings the Blues. That was her outfit. So when they did We Are the World, so what they have is the lyrics for We Are the World. Michael Jackson his notes are on these lyrics, like handwritten.
Oh,
wow. One of the jackets that was in the video was Luther Vandross's.
Yeah, I saw that.
It had his handwritten lyrics to Dance with My Father. So me, I'm a music, like I love music. And so to see my favorite artists and like things actually wrote, like to me, it was like, oh wow, this is dope. But the rest of the museum for me, it was like, because we've seen better. And I'm gonna just go ahead and throw it out there. If you're in Charlotte, North Carolina, the museum is called the Levine Museum of the New South.
Okay.
Their exhibit is hands-on, interactive. It blows the Washington D.C. museum out the water. So if you're looking for it,
does that one have a cost?
That one did have a cost. The one in Charlotte, you did have to pay for that one.
So you sign up for a time slot, but so are you timed as to how long you? Okay.
So, because the whole museum, and like I said, we missed one level. It took 3 hours.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this: do you have to be there exactly at your time slot? Okay, that's it. Okay. So that's very important. Everyone take note of that. If you have a ticket for 1 o'clock, do not, because colorful folks time. Do not get there at 2 o'clock thinking you're gonna get in.
So what time do they open?
I want to say they open at like 9 o'clock.
Okay. So you can get there at 9. You have a time slot for 9. You can get there at 9 and stay like all day long.
Yeah, because there's no one, because I was in a rush because I'm like, oh no, we got 12 o'clock. We gotta get through everything. But there is no one saying, hey y'all, if you 9 o'clock, it's time for y'all to leave. No, nobody.
So I guess the purpose of the time slot, I'm guessing, is to make sure we're not all in here at one time at the same time. So you can stay as long as you want, but they kind of like straggle. How many come in?
According to your ticket, because we do not want to be sued by the African American Museum, there is a time limit. What Tisha is saying is once you get there, because things may change, but she's saying during her experience, there wasn't anyone like rushing you through.
No.
So let me ask you this. Let's say we was to stick to the time limit. What do they give you? 3 hours, 4 hours? How many hours do they give you?
It does tell you that if you do the whole thing, it's going to take you about 3 hours. It does say that.
So I'm guessing they probably give you at least a 3-hour time window to do. Okay. That was my question, because it's like, well, if I could just stay in here till y'all close, why do I need a time slot? You know what I mean? So it's like, why are we signing up for times?
We don't want to lead the people wrong. So, so do you remember the different times that they offer? Like, I probably would go early in the morning because you got that traffic and stuff. You know what I mean?
So
I think it's literally all day long, though, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay.
And they probably enforce it more. I'm just guessing, maybe in your busy times, like during your holiday times, your summertime, your spring break times, where you really probably have even more people than y'all probably experienced Tisha when y'all went. You know what I mean?
Right. And so right outside the museum, it was like a ton of food trucks. A ton of trucks. So I've never had the bubble tea. Never tried the bubble tea. And so I was like, we outside. Let me go see what this is all about. So first of all, they didn't have the prices on the truck, right? So I go ahead, order my bubble tea. I think it was mango, pineapple, something. And so the dude was like $16. The cup.
I mean, put that, take that.
Yes.
Okay.
Now pull that card out. Pull that card out. Pull that card out.
So you know how I am. I ain't, I don't want the people that think I ain't got it. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my card. $16. So I'm like $16.
Then you can drink some of mine.
Daniel, on the other hand, was probably like, "Oh no, Teacher trying to be cute. Okay, I'll have it." Daniel,
right?
Y'all crazy.
Say this, right? So the bubble tea got them beads up in there, fucking the stuff in your mouth. Like that.
It was not cute.
She don't like it, y'all. She don't like it.
So what other food trucks did they have out there?
They had a ton of sandwich trucks.
Okay.
They had this ice cream. They had this ice cream truck where they were putting like Fruity Pebbles and different cereals on it. So like basically you can think of was sitting right outside. So like I said, literally you can make a day of it. There's so food, entertainment, and literally all you would have to pay, you would pay for your food, your gas, everything else is free.
Yeah. And if you go during like the spring, like if it's a good weather, there's places to sit as well. We went one time for spring break. The family and I met Jay's family who are in Mississippi. They came up to DC, and so we went to spring break and we went up there and met them. And we didn't even do the African American Museum. We did some other things, but it was nice weather and it was food trucks galore. Okay, there. It was a lot of homeless people. We do want to give you all the but I will tell you this: the homeless in Richmond or the homeless in DC is not the same type of homeless in our area. They're not even asking you for money for real. They're just, you know what I mean? So yeah. So how would you rate your experience though, that day in DC? But before you rate it, what would you suggest? Family, like we went with our family, you and your husband. Do you think it's a trip for anyone for the day, or?
I would definitely say it's a family trip. I would say you need to take your babies. Us not excluding our non-African American viewers, but listen, if you got an ounce of black in you, you need to take your babies because it is informative and it's something that we need that knowledge. So I would definitely say a family trip. And if you're someone like myself who just loves museums, go.
Okay. Nice.
So is it handicap accessible?
That's a good question.
It is because
good.
There were people in wheelchairs. They have elevators, so you don't necessarily. Yeah, you don't have to walk the stairs. They do have elevators to get you up and down.
Oh, good.
Okay.
How would you rate your day in DC?
You know what? I'm gonna give it a B. I mean,
we are some hard people.
The fact that you spent the day with your boo don't even give it some extra.
I think she was expecting more out of that museum. But keep in mind, I feel like there is a difference with free and a difference when you have to pay. Like for example, I like the Norfolk Zoo more than I like the DC Zoo.
Yes.
And the DC Zoo is free. Right. And they don't have all the animals. You know what I mean?
And the animals sleep all day.
Yeah.
And they don't go wake them up because
they short staff. So okay, so you give it a B. Let's go to the chat. Enjoy. Someone else read it because I'm on my phone, so I can't see all the words.
Somebody said, whoever did that editing on that video is killing it.
Hey, shout out to our producer. He gonna put it up there. Look at that.
And I guess we do have to give him shout out because he put the pictures in order. Y'all see how he ended it on the Jay-Z one. You know what I mean? Yeah. He kept them together, the music, and so yes. Yes,
because I don't know about y'all, but when we go to commercial break, I be kind of like dancing to whatever the thing is, I wait for him to give me like a little reggae jank, but it's all good. Okay, what's the next one from Verdale? What did she read?
And then Verdale said, I enjoyed DC. The Some food trucks were good. I wonder if they're going to bring the vendors back on the Black Lives Matter street. I would love to go back. I didn't even know they had a Black Lives Matter street.
They do. Did you get a chance to see that, Tisha?
I didn't. Not where I was.
Okay, they do. And Verdell, keep us posted, or anyone in the chat, if they do bring that back. That would be dope. And shout out to Chef Tawanda, who said, hey, y'all, who's on the line. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so we're going to jump into a quick commercial break. It is 2 commercials, so stay right there.
With Miss Ebony, you ready? The layers effect, the layers effect, the layers effect, the layers effect.
Welcome back. Shout out to our sponsors. Special K, I'll let you start with the first sponsor.
So the first one was Sachel Essence by is Brunch with Us. So you ladies have time to get your tickets. It's not until May, but at the same time, don't get your tickets. Don't wait to get your tickets and say, well, it's not until May. You know how we do. Because I think it will definitely sell out. It's a networking brunch, so great opportunity for women. It is for women entrepreneurs, and entrepreneurs. But even if you have a business idea, but you haven't birthed it yet, still go and check it out. She's gonna have a powerful guest speaker that gonna blow your mind when you hear her story. Great food, just good time and fellowship.
Yeah, so shout out to you, the owner of Sachel Essence, Stacy.
Yes, Miss Stacy.
And thank you again, Stacy, for that wonderful Valentine's box that you put together. We appreciate you for that giveaway. And the next sponsor that we have up is Worldwide Entertainment Media Group. March the 19th from 7 to 8:30, we have a virtual networking party. Hey. So if you are an entrepreneur and you are ready to expand your business, you're looking for more exposure, please, the information is on the flyer. If you don't have a chance, if you didn't get a chance to catch that information, please check in the Chat and Chew group over on Facebook. If you are not a part of that community, please go to the search bar and type Chat and Chew. It is a public group, and hit that invite button. Not the invite, join button.
Right.
How about that? I'm sorry. Join. But yeah.
But you can invite your friends too.
Yeah. All right. And invite your friends after you join, right?
Right.
But during that virtual networking party, it is not just for our entrepreneurs. It's for those of you that aren't entrepreneurs that may be a future customer, a future client. It is free for those to watch the presentation. It is only a $25 entry for entrepreneurs to participate. You have up to 3 slides. It comes with a flyer that will be created for you and for you to own. You will also get 1 week of advertisement on all social media platforms for Worldwide Entertainment. You can't beat that. What are you waiting for? So when this is over, I need you to go ahead and contact. The information is on that flyer. So who do we have next, Tisha? Who's our other sponsor?
So the other sponsor is New Wave Construction. Should begin. Listen, Call Daniel Watson. The number is 757-602-8574. We do it all. That's it.
Shout out to White. You didn't know that number.
I tell you. And when she said do it all, she is talking about doing it all. Okay, they do commercial cleaning, they do sandblast painting, you name it, they do it. Okay. So again, thank you to all of our sponsors. So let's jump into this second segment. Special K, what you got for us tonight? What we gonna be talking about?
Tonight is probably something a little different than what we usually do, because we always bring y'all the funny, the humorous, keep it light, keep it fluffy. This time we decided to do a little more serious chit chat for the things that's going on right now in our schools with our babies that are near and dear to our heart. And I'm glad that we had a little time in between when we decided what our topic was going to be before we actually came to y'all, so we can discuss this, strong. Because I'm gonna be honest, whenever I think about what is going on now in our school systems, with our babies, like it's so heartbreaking. It is so disturbing, because it's funny how when our parents would say, we didn't have that problem, we didn't have that issue when I was coming up. Now we're saying that, like, yeah, we didn't have that issue. You know what I mean? Like, what is this? And then it'd be one thing if it was the high school, because, we hear about the high school stuff. Then we kind of trickle down to the middle school, and it's like, yeah, we hear about but elementary, 6 years old, like, I'm still kind of in shock about that. So that's what our discussion is tonight. Just about I don't know how we want to name it. Just our thoughts on it, maybe what we can do better, because we can't put it all on, I don't think anyway, the school system. Right. You know what I mean? We can't put it all on the superintendent and the school board and the teachers. And I think it really starts with us. It starts with us, as parents. It starts with us as neighbors because of the children in my neighborhood. You know what I mean? I think it starts with us as Christians, with our prayer and our covering these babies. You know what I mean? So while
we're discussing it, everyone that's online right now, we want you to leave your feedback in the chat. Okay. So definitely do that while we're talking about it. Yes, I want to say it is very disturbing, and it's shocking. It's still, how we have these different moments where different things go on. We see this world is about to end. Yes. Yes. And I'm telling, I know you said, and it's unknown of, when the world is going to end, but I'm telling you, when I got the news, I was like, this world is getting ready to end. I was discussing with my oldest daughter, who is a special education, she's a special education assistant teacher. And I think I was discussing with you too, Special K, that like schools used to be the safest place to go. Especially for those that were raised in like the projects in the hood, you know what I mean? Like schools, you didn't have to worry about nobody running up in there, nothing happening. Yeah, in schools, you know what I mean? And then even if it was happening, it was not happening here. And like I know we have viewers from all areas, but you didn't hear about that happening in the 757. You know what I mean? And then to it be now in elementary, you know what I mean? It's like, oh my goodness, it's scary. You don't know what you're going to hear, when you're going to hear it, where it's going to, where it's going to be going on. I definitely think it's a community problem. I think we all have to take individual responsibility. Absolutely. If you, let's say you don't know any children in school, right? Then you know what you could be doing? You could be praying. For all the for the children in school. But even everyone has a neighbor, a cousin, a niece, a nephew, whoever, you know what I mean, that attends school. And if like for example, I'm not a grandmother yet, but I'm even thinking about like when my children, you know what I'm saying, when our kids, it is crazy. You know what I mean? So one of the things, and I know we can go around, one of the things I think is very important is for parents and family. I don't want to just put this on families. If you are auntie or uncle or cousin, or big brother, this is all our responsibility. start checking in with these children
Yeah.
in their rooms.
Mm-hmm.
I am telling you, you will be surprised. It's not just TV stuff, okay? You will be surprised what will go on with that child behind that closed door, okay? What they're thinking about themselves, what they may be thinking of their peers, especially if they're getting picked on or bullied, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So me, myself, I've always done it. Even though my I have a 20-year-old now, 9-year-old, and 11, I go in the room.
Mm-hmm.
I sit down and I have one-on-one talk with them to make sure that they are okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of this, and being in the mental health field, you know, you too, Special K, a lot of this is going on with their mental.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's going on with them mentally.
Mm-hmm.
And we get so busy as parents and as families working these jobs and catering to the husband or ministry that we got to start getting with our children one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to stop there. You go ahead and pick up, Tisha.
So I definitely will say that us, we have to do better. The families, we have to do better, because what's happening right now is a direct reflection of us.
Yeah.
I feel like you're right, because this isn't your child is just bad and this is a behavior.
Right.
But it's behavioral. It is a mental and it's an emotional situation. And I think, especially in the African American community, we need to normalize therapy. Just because your child has to go to a therapist does not mean that you are any less a mother or father. If anything, it says a lot about you as a parent, because you're realizing that I had a conversation with my sister today, and we were talking about how, like, our generation, if we were taught, well, we learned from what we were taught from the previous generation. And so we were taught, like, if your child is acting up, you whoop them.
Yeah.
And they still don't straighten up. You whoop them again. But so we're handing out these whoopings and these punishments, and they are not working. So us as parents, like, we got to, like, open, what else can I do? What am I missing here? And it doesn't make you any less of a person.
Right.
It's saying, hey, I need to get my child some outside help. So that's one. Second, I do not feel that it is appropriate for a child in elementary school, middle school, and high school, but these Call of Duties,
these games,
it is desensitizing our children to violence. It is desensitizing our children to what actually happens when you go and you get a gun. When you kill someone, they don't 30 seconds and they back a new life. No,
right.
No. And so we have to watch what we are allowing our children, the things that they are allowed to play with, these games. We buy this stuff. We're buying children, elementary school kids, Call of Duty. We're letting them stay up and play. What is that? Fortnite. In the wee hours, we're asleep and our kids are up. So I want to say we have dropped the ball. We've dropped the ball, and it's showing. And we want to put it on the teachers. Listen, it's about 30 kids in one class.
Right.
The fact that this one teacher has to disrupt her lesson plan because there is one child with a behavioral issue. It's not fair to her, and it's not fair to the rest of him. Excuse me. It's not fair to the teacher, and it's not fair to those children. And us as parents, listen, if that means I need to look, because I didn't have to do it. If that means I need to get off my job to that school, to let that school know, like, you have my support. This one's mine right here. Oh, I'm signing them out and I'm gonna bring them back. And we ain't gonna have
that part. That part.
But yes, we've dropped the ball.
Keisha, read some read some from the chat. What we got?
Let's see. Someone said the village no longer exists. That is a biggie because and I don't want to say like shout out to growing up in the projects, but when you think about it, growing up in those kind of areas, like, look, if we did something wrong, somebody told mama. You know what I mean? Somebody, it wasn't so much of, oh, mind your business, da 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 da. You know what I mean? Not to say that, out here in your other communities or whatever, but I think, like, I'm be honest, like here in the neighborhood that I'm in now, I don't think anybody would say anything if one of my kids, did something or if they were out of pocket. You know what I mean? I really don't. I think everybody's in this kind of like, mind your business mode or whatever. Someone said, it's sad. I found out my granddaughter's school last week was on the news. Some of these parents need to be parents and not your child's best friend. And it kind of reiterates what Miss Ebony was saying. Look at the phones, ask questions about their day. Someone said it's a lot of peer pressure going on, and this generation has a lot of pressure. There is so much pressure, and I think one of the things we as parents has lost, and not necessarily to our fault, but society has kind of set it up like that, is we all about that dollar. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, we can't help but be about that dollar because I got to keep food on the table for them. I got to keep a roof over their head. You know what I mean? But at the same time, if that dollar costs you making sure homework is done, you making sure show up to some kind of PTA meeting, you know what I mean? Or if they're playing a sport, show up to a game. Like that means so much to them. My daughter, she's high school. So when Ward played and they went, oh, I forget where that game was at. I want to say it might have been like 3 hours away.
Yeah, so and you went.
It's two little boys that she's really good friends with, and she talked to them on the phone or whatever. And whenever she talked to them, they're like, "Hey, Miss Keisha." So if they need rides somewhere, I'll pick them up, drop them off, da da da. So sometimes I'd be like, "I'm not going," and she'd be like, "Mom, it's so and so." I'm like, "Okay, I'm gonna go pick them up," da da da, because their parents are busy. You know what I mean? So it's like I get it. So I fill in here and there. And when they found out that I had rearranged my schedule to go to that game to support them, they were like, "Oh my God, you really mean your mom is coming? Miss Keisha is coming, all the way here to see us this game." So that meant, so much more. That meant so much to them, So it's like, I know we have lives, but when mine were younger, my oldest, she got held back in, I think it was first grade. My son got held back, I think it's kindergarten, something like that, because I was doing what I had to do. You know what I mean? I was clocking in. I was making that money. I was trying to make sure, I kept that roof over their head. And that hurt me to my heart so bad. I would cry myself to sleep. And then one day I was like, God, I'm doing this all wrong. Like, you gave them to me. These are a gift. You know what I mean? And my first priority is to make sure they're taken care of. And being taken care of is not just, oh, the bills are paid, So right. I quit my job. I didn't have a plan B. I didn't have a plan C. I quit my job. And I said, God, if you allow me to create income for myself that I will always be able to put you first, because I wasn't going to church. I wasn't doing this. I wasn't doing that. But you allow me to put you first and then make my kids a priority. Then if it comes my way, because I've had opportunities, and they were like, my mom would be like, do you know how much money that is? And I'd be like, right. And I can't do homework. And I got this one over here at the football, and I can't take them to practice. So I would turn it down. But I realized that my priority was them, and they became A students. You know what I mean? Our communication end up being better. So we have got to make sure that our babies are really our first priority. We've got to make that, and they know that they're our priority. Go ahead, Tisha. You want to say?
I was going to say, in reference to the pressure that our kids are facing, we didn't grow up with social media.
Right. Oh my God.
If there was a problem at school, if there was somebody that was bullying us, like, it ended when we got home. That was it.
Yeah, and it ended right at school.
But you would just have to deal with it the next day. But now our kids, like, they're getting it on social media, you know, so and so is on, oh, you know, talking junk about them. And so what we have to do is we have to teach our children the emotional IQ. Like we talk about their mental and their education, but emotionally, like we have to sit our kids down. We have to help them process these emotions. Like, stop telling your sons to stop crying. Men don't cry.
That part.
Stop telling our girls, you know what, boss up. Like, look, if they want to cry, let them cry.
Right.
If they feel a certain type of way about something that they've read online, then you, their parent or guardian or auntie, whatever, like, be present, like, be there for them. Talk about what it is that they saw, how it made them feel. Let them process these emotions, because as we know, our generation, we had Columbine, and Columbine literally was, y'all teased and y'all picked on me this whole entire time.
Yes.
I guess we gotta work on that. Help our kids process these feelings and emotions. And listen, and if it's your child that's doing the bullying, if a parent comes to you and is saying your child is bullying my kid, this is not an opportunity for you parents trying to fight the parent, because there's something about your child. Like, the balance when we come to our child's defense, and when we're like, yeah, you were dead wrong, I'll deal with that. We got to balance that. So our kids, they have more than us. And we as parents, we have to help them navigate this new world. Navigate.
Someone said in the chat, sometimes your presence is more valuable than you realize. They won't tell you, but it's priceless. That is really, really good right there. We have another viewer that said, I was at every track meet, even when the other parents couldn't go.
Yeah.
Had snacks, even a ride the school bus with the, you rode the school bus with the track team. That's good. We had game night. Oh, that is awesome.
Somebody said the Project Life saved us.
Oh yeah, that piece. I meant to read that day. That's good. One of the things that I don't see enough of, so I know they have conferences at school, right? But I think that we need to, like, of course, come up with something that works. Not saying it's gonna work, but it needs to be more rallies or more come together as a school with the community. You know what I mean? Where you have, you have your faculty, your staff, you have your children, you have your parents, and then you have the local people that support it, the councilmen, the school board, police officers in that zone, you know what I mean? To come in and have a dialogue, to hear one another, you know what I mean? So the parents can hear what the teachers need from them, but at the same time, the teachers can hear what the parents need from them. One of the things, I know we touched on the parent perspective, aspect, but one of the things, and I got this from my 22-year-old, there's not enough of teachers like back in the day when they took the job on as becoming a teacher. It was a passion. They actually like kids.
Right.
They like kids. Now, like Newport News Public Schools, and I'm not saying it's wrong, but they're offering $5,000 and $6,000 sign-on bonus and $50,000 with a bachelor's degree. And so you get these young teachers that come out of college who wouldn't want to. So the average teacher doesn't even have a degree in teaching.
Right.
You know what I mean? A lot of, not a lot, but some of them have business. And I'm not saying it doesn't make them good teachers, but what I'm saying is we need more staff members in the school system, period, that like children. Not just the teachers. How do you work in the cafeteria and serve food but don't like looking at these
right?
You know what I mean? How do you know what I'm saying? Seriously, how do you be a nurse? How do you be a security guard? You're working. How do you be a bus driver and do not like children? So we need more people and more that they actually have a passion for children, okay? And having some type of sit down I don't know if it needs to be once every 3 months, but it definitely needs to happen. At the same time, I know what some of you are thinking. When these different events are organized, we need the parents to show up, the children to show up, because we've been to them, all three of us. Friendship Lottery had something just, I think it was over the summer or fall. Was it summer or fall? And it was like a Stop the Violence thing.
Summer,
yeah, and it was so awesome. Oh my God! But when you look around, it should have been more people out there. You know what I mean? So we have to stop talking about this needs to happen, that needs to happen, and then half of you all are not even showing up at these different things that could be beneficial to you or to us. You know what I mean?
And we can't only show up at the things that are giving us something. You know what I mean? We can't just show up if they're giving food. We can't just show up if it's a raffle for a TV. You know what I mean? Yeah. Just show up because maybe your child's life is on the line.
Yeah.
And that's enough giveaway right there. You know what I mean? And then I know I don't know about the other school zones, but I know Newport News, we got the email where they're looking for people. They're looking for us, the parents, the community, to get on these different boards. Like they got the advisory board one. They looking for people to get on the board to let's dig into and maybe tweak some of these things as far as the handbook, is concerned. So, and you don't have to have a child that is a part of. You could just be a concerned resident and you just want to see better for these babies to be a part.
Yeah. We also had something like that. The city of Hampton had a lot of people out. We did a thing trying to come up with solutions to stopping this violence. And not just that, because we also, y'all know how I feel about my therapy, and I should have had my t-shirt on about my therapy. But to also help our children process this trauma. Because when my nephew, he goes to Woodside, and so when I got the phone call that there was someone had got caught and they had to lock the school down because someone had a gun, immediately I was like, okay, I need to check on my nephew, because even though they said everything was okay, it doesn't mean that everything is okay.
Right.
So
we already know. Right.
So I called my nephew. How do you feel? Are you okay? Do you need me to come pick you up? Because I'm not going to, we shouldn't force just because we're like, because a lot of us, we grew up in the hood, so shooting and all of that, like we, you live, you ain't down.
Not
but, right. So we can't assume that, okay, well, ain't nobody get shot. You all right to finish the day? We can't do that. So if you need to go pick your baby up,
yes, absolutely.
I want to say, and I want to open the floor to this, because I'm the type of person, if you're going to bring me a list of problems, you need to bring me a list of solutions.
Yes. Yes.
And I know us at Chat and Chew, what our viewers do not know is that outside of Chat and Chew, we are heavy in the give backs.
Yes.
The community, like that's what we do. That's our passion. This is what we do fun. But when we log off of this, we trying to come up with the next thing, because we've been blessed, so we want to be able to give it back. So since we are talking about our babies, right? What I want us to actually do something. Like I want our kids to see us show up for them in large numbers, y'all. Because we have to first of all, we Christians, but we have to let the enemy know.
That's it. That part.
It ain't gonna happen, right?
Right.
And we have to let those out there in the community, the gangs, and not here. Like that's what we're missing, because we had that back then with the mamas and they would get out. So we need to recreate that. So I want to say, hey, what can we do here? Chat and Chew, the Chat and Chew family, our viewers, what can we do to make a mark, to impact? Because here's the thing. I don't want to go scriptural, but
go ahead.
Go ahead, minister.
But there's a passage in the Bible where I want to say it was probably so the Israelites, they had got in trouble once again. And so they were out in Babylon. And so, God was like, look, go ahead, buckle your seatbelt because you're going to be here for a while. But listen, because you're here, the city around you is going to be blessed.
Right.
So that should be our goal, right? Wherever city we live, how are we changing our city for the positive? Is our city being impacted for the positive because of our presence? Just we live the zip code. How is it changing? Because Keisha, we need to pray for our cities, not just our families and our neighbors, our cities, our states. So here at Chat and Chew, what can we do?
Someone let's chat mentorship.
Mentorship.
And that's really good. And the thing about mentorship, everyone could be doing it.
Yeah.
There is someone assigned to all of us. Your lane may be girls, your lane may be just elementary girls, your lane may be the males, but it may be high school, it may be single parent homes, it may be for children that have parents that have different mental disabilities. Okay, because what is going on with these children? A lot can come from the home. What they watch, what they see, who their makeup and everything. We have in the chat. Kiana said our children will have PTSD. They have experienced so much trauma at a young age, burying their friends at a high rate. That is so good because I'm gonna tell you all something. I know the therapy and the counseling is offered, but they need to be consistent.
Yeah.
It needs to be consistent. You know what I mean? Because special care yourself. Your daughter was at her school and someone had got shot. That thing messed her daughter up.
Yeah. And when you think about it, like as adults in our upper 30s, 40s, even beyond, when we find out about somebody that we went to school with at this age that they passed, like that really does something to us. You know what I mean? So can you imagine if we were 20 years ago? You know what I mean? We were 18, we were 16, we were 12, we were 10, you know what I mean? Yeah. And you find out that your schoolmate, you know what I mean? Your classmate, somebody you went to school with, got shot or something. Like my daughter, she really went through, when that thing went down at Heritage, she was on the phone with us. She was on the phone with me and my daughter, my oldest one. And she was like, because, the school, they tell us after the fact. Like by the time you get that phone call and they let you know, we just called to let you know, so and so and so, the ambulance then came, took the baby away, the police then done so and so. But them kids, as soon as it happened, they on no phones. So she called and she was like, Mom, they shooting. And I'm driving like, they shooting. Where are you? Where are you? So and so and so. And I think she had just kind of like just passed because she doesn't have class during that period. So she was on her way to go to the bus to go to New Horizon for her cosmetology class. So she had just kind of like passed him literally in the hall and dove into a classroom that was open, like the first classroom that was open. And that was like so traumatizing, for her. So these babies, and she went through a period where when they were closed, during that time, they needed that. So I can only imagine how it was at the elementary school. You know what I mean? Because she was in her room for a minute. You know what I mean? Like not really wanting to talk, just kind of like quiet. So, you give them that time to, let them kind of form their words, but, we was always close to her, and then eventually she did open up, and let us know, this or that. But that's a tough thing, for them to have to process going through that. Absolutely.
Virgil, the Friendship Lottery is working on a mentoring program. Save our boys, save our girls. That is dope. Okay. So like if you are a parent and you're up here, please get your children involved. It does not mean that you are a bad parent because you're signing your child up for mentorship. Okay. If anything, this is what a community, this is what a village steps in, because we are working parents, and to be honest, the average someone else may be able to reach your child before you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then it puts them with other peers that and they're all getting mentoring, right? And consistent mentorship. Okay. So I do want to say this before we go on. If you are up here and you are a part of an organization or you know an organization that has a mentorship program, and it does not have to be in the 757, okay? Because the cool thing about this platform is once we put it up, it could be nationwide. Send us the information, because we definitely, when we do our episodes, this is just an episode for today, okay? We're doing this with the purpose and an intent to make a change. So please send us that information. You can reach out to us individually, or you can reach out. You can email the producer, put the email up there, but definitely get us that information so we can put it out there. I do also want to say that even though we offer advertisement and sponsorship packages, if you have a nonprofit organization, we will advertise your nonprofit organization for free. Okay. If you got something going on, part of our giving back is making sure we can get the word out there to others, and then either being a part of that. Okay. So I did want to put that. But yes, what else can we do? Please continue to, we love the dialogue in the chat. What else? And I thought it was really good you came up with that, Tisha. What can we do as Chat and Chew, and those of you that are on just as a community, what can we do to make a change? So please continue to leave that in the chat.
I think one of the things we can do too is whatever your child is involved in, you get involved as well. You know what I mean?
That's good.
If she's a cheerleader, that doesn't necessarily mean, because kids one day space like, mom, that doesn't mean you necessarily have to be a cheer mom. You know what I mean? But you can go to the practices, you can see what other area they may need on that football team, on that squad. You know what I mean? But eventually they'll look forward to that. I think when we first started with our girls and we wanted, I don't think it was like but then eventually it was like, well, we're going here and we're doing, so they look forward to that. And that's your time to let them know that what matters to you matters to me. So if they have something that, they're involved in, and like someone said with the mentorship thing, it's good because they do have someone they can receive from. And I think we all have to learn. I know I had to learn that you can't take it to heart if them receiving doesn't come from you.
Right.
Because when you think about it, our parents told us a lot of stuff and we didn't get it from them. We got it, but it eventually probably came from somebody else. So my prayer is always, God, I want my babies, to get it from me, of course. But if it's not from me, let it be from somebody that's speaking what I'm speaking, that's sounding like I'm sounding. So even though they don't get it directly from me, they still getting it from me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I would say another good one too is, I said earlier, going to check on your children, but get to know your children's friends.
Yes.
That is very important, because you will find out some different things they may be even experiencing at home. Like Special K just said, sometimes they can't, the children may not receive it from their, their parents. So get to know your children's friends. Who are they hanging around? Okay. Because that is a big influence there. You definitely want to check in and get to know their boyfriend, their girlfriend, their friend. I don't care what type of friend, you want to get to know their friend. That's very important.
And getting to know their friends too, not even necessarily as a keeping track of, if something bad, but as a good thing. Because when you think about it, our kids, their friends talk to us. Yeah. Their friends come to us, they confide in us, they tell us about what's going on in their lives, they tell us about what's going on in their homes. Some of them have shared some things, like we were always the house where the kids could come to. Like, my kids not coming to yours, but you can always bring yours over here. So we would have the sleepovers, we would have the get-togethers, we would have a party, and there would always be something when we have our chat time, our talk time, that those girls would start pouring out, that sometimes we would be like, should we be calling somebody and reporting, you know what I mean? Because they will pour out. So maybe you can be that ear, that safety net, for another child. So that's a good reason to kind of get to know their friends too.
Yeah. You see in the chat, I love that. students versus teachers game, volleyball, softball. Yes, I think that would be so fun. And that's probably for real, start the day out with something fun, and that's how you'll get people to show up. You can have the parents and against the teachers while the children watch. You can have the teachers against the students while the parents are the cheerleaders. You know, maybe something interactive and fun like that to get everyone involved. And then before that day is over, then you sit down and have your power out. You know what I mean? That happened to field day at school.
What happened to field day at school?
Oh, what? I'm sorry. I thought it was a T. See, I'm on my phone. That's a W over there. Okay.
You put your non-prescription glasses on so you can see.
I know, right? Listen to what? Okay, yes, you should do a teen edition of Chat and Chew. I love it. Yes, let's get them up here talking. Yes, I love that piece.
They're gonna have to pay for their own food when they go out and eat. They're gonna have to pay for their own food. They got expensive taste. Listen,
if we do not get an opportunity to have a teen edition on Chat and Chew, we definitely need to have the teens over there on Circle of Peace. Okay. So I don't know if you are watching, no, but there's 3 different shows right now that are streaming. Right now you're on Chat and Chew. We got The Layers Effect with Miss Ebony just came back, and then we have Circle of Peace. Okay. So yes. But yes, that's dope. I like that. A teen edition. So we can actually hear. That will be good. We gotta find some children that will be willing to talk.
Teddy business.
And Teddy business like it is, you know. Right. But I love that. Yeah. That's good.
Yes.
So we're gonna wrap this up, but we definitely appreciate this. Was really, really good. If you have watched us in the past, we do a lot of funny parts, you know, with the chat. But this had been on our hearts. So
that's a good one. You see that one? Parents and Kids edition.
Yeah. This is gonna be like a 3-part series. We'll have the children, we'll have the parents, then we're gonna have the teachers, you know. It'll be good. I think it'll be good though. I like it. And then make it to like a little documentary and send it to Wavy TV 10 and tell them to just air that for the night. But listen,
I want to put out too that, like, so Ebony and I have the Sisters Productions. We haven't done anything in quite a while, but we've been talking about trying to maybe get back out there and do some things. So one of the things we were talking about was I done lost my train of thought that fast.
Don't know.
Sisters, like, because we are blood sisters. That we would have an event maybe where like sisters could come out, and we know sisters at the end of the day is not just blood sisters. So if it is like 2 good girlfriends that we could go out, that we could get together and do some kind of event. Then one of our babies, I always call them my babies, they 20-some years old, y'all. But one of our babies has said something about a mother and daughter something. Maybe we could do a father and son something, you know what I mean? So definitely look for, and it could be Circle of Peace, it could be Chat and Chew, it could be a Miss Ebony thing, whatever. So definitely keep y'all eye on. We're trying to keep y'all posted, because we definitely will be trying to come up with some things to get, you know, to get more involved, to get teens and us as a unit, as a family, more involved in.
Yeah, more community stuff. Yeah. Tisha, did you want to say anything before I wrap it up?
This was a great conversation, and I feel like I said, Chat and Chew, we're a family, y'all. We in this
together. Look, next episode we're gonna be up here eating a seafood boil live. I'm just playing. But listen, we appreciate you all. We do not take for granted. You could be anywhere else on a Monday night, and you all have
on a Monday night.
Okay, let's go to the whole. It's Monday, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Monday night, and you all have rocked with us for a whole hour and a half. Do you hear me? We appreciate you all. Verdell, we definitely need you to reach out. I need y'all help with the daddy and daughter dance, mother and son brunch. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Listen, check this out too for all the nonprofit organizations. You have an event going on, you can have us there. We will do a red carpet. We will help host. We are there. We are all about the community. Okay.
Yeah. You need volunteers. You need some donations.
Nonprofit. And if you have an event that you're gonna make money, I'm gonna make money too, because you're gonna
You gonna eat, we all gonna eat.
We will. Please keep me posted on how I can be involved. Great comment. This is what I'm talking about. Feel good. the part that you all don't know is when we log off tonight, we probably will be crying, the three of us, because this was really, really, really good. But again, the producer is brushing us off, and I don't want to be embarrassed and y'all see a black screen because he doesn't.
Right.
But we appreciate you all. You can catch us live every first Monday of the month. And then what other months do we stream? It's a
we're supposed to drop second and fourth.
Right, but we're kind of doing whatever we want to do.
Yeah, you know, listen, and shout out to the producer that just kind of like let us do our thing, because we'll hit him up and be like, hey, so we're not going to record, we're going to do live, and he'd be like, okay.
But look, we're going to tell y'all one more thing before we end. We're going to be dropping a date where you all can come out and review whatever restaurant we're going to eat at, and we're going to talk about it live, okay, while we eating. All right, you all.
And don't forget the brunch. Y'all make sure you come with us to the brunch. Remember we posted the brunch?
Oh, the brunch.
The karaoke brunch.
Yes, that's
meet us at the karaoke brunch.
I'm sorry. We got so much.
Yeah.
I'm getting tired there, y'all. And I can
talk medicine wearing off. Her medicine wearing off.
I'm getting tired, okay?
Going down.
We appreciate you all. If you have not subscribed, please, please, please subscribe to the Chat and Chew on YouTube. Send this video out to your friends. We got to get our subscribers up, y'all. We got a lot of
views. Y'all. Yes, please
but
subscribe.
We need y'all to subscribe. Again, I'm your girl, Miss Ebony. I have Special K on one end, and on the other end, I have Tisha. Good night.
Good night.